What's going on, guys? Welcome to part 3 of working on my family's 1966 Chevrolet C10. Now, as you guys can see, there's a few things new on the truck since part 2. So I'm going to go ahead and play a few clips from August. It is currently October. I'm going to play a few clips from August of us putting on the carburetor and a few other things to get you guys caught up. And we'll see you guys back here in just a moment.
So basically what you guys are seeing in these first 5 clips here is me and my buddy Blake. We're trying to test fit the carburetor and seeing if we can put it on a different way than the original way it's supposed to go on. So it's supposed to go on facing the front of the vehicle, but it's not wanting to fit. So in turn, what we're having to do is see if we can turn the adapter plate that's sitting on the intake manifold itself, turn the riser that we have in Blake's hand there, as you can see, or just turn the carburetor and set it a different angle. So what we ended up doing is we put everything on there, the plate for the intake manifold, the riser, everything, and put the carburetor on sideways to where it is facing, the front facing of the carburetor is facing the driver side of the vehicle. And I'll show you later on in the video why that didn't work.
All right, guys, so welcome back. So it's been a few weeks since I filmed the intro for this video. And it's also been a few months since those last clips. I'm going to have all the dates for all the clips up on each clip so y'all can follow along on the timeline. So what we are doing, we're back out here again. I'm going to show you guys what I have done recently and what we're about to do today, and hopefully we can get this thing pretty much done today and I can tune it in the next video for you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so what we have done recently is I hooked up the fuel line. This is the fuel line that I put on the original carburetor when we were still dealing with that way before all this stuff. So this is an Edelbrock fuel filter case and filter, just some rubber hose, and then this is the original. Well, it's the original design and spec of the original fuel line from the carb to the fuel pump. Got it hooked back up at the fuel pump and all that stuff. So what we're going to do right now is I got some, this is fuel line. This is a 3/16 inch inner diameter fuel line. So if I can, there it is right there. And some clamps for it. I got these on Amazon. And I just got them in today. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to disconnect our hose here from the vacuum advance on the distributor and run this new line from the vacuum advance here all the way to the port right here on our new carburetor. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And also I'm waiting for more parts to arrive from LMC Truck for the clutch linkage, which is down there, as you guys can see where that bar is right there. I got some replacement parts, like some replacement end joints for those and stuff like that. So we're waiting on those parts to get here. We're also going to be doing that today. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I got the vacuum advance line on, the new one, with some nice clamps. Now I do know that this is too long, and I know I don't want it to touch my intake or exhaust manifolds and all this stuff. So yes, we will shorten it up for the time, but for the time being, and for us to tune this carb and at least get it to the exhaust shop to put an exhaust on it, it will be fine where it's at. So that is done. So yes, I'm still waiting on parts, but I do have another thing that we can install, and that is our manual choke kit. Right here, this is the electronic choke, and I still want to be able to use my choke cable. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this off of here and put on a manual choke kit. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, guys, so we've got our manual choke kit on here. There it is right there. That's what will hold the choke. This is the actual part here, and I had to change something on the other side as well. But it's on there, and I'm going to go ahead and link this in the description box below. There's the part number right there, but I'll link it all in the description box below. See, there's their electric choke in there. But I got this from Allstate Carburetor. Like I said, I'll link it in the description box below. And so right now I'm going to pause today since it is getting a little dark and my parts just now got here. So we're going to pick this back up tomorrow with reinstalling our clutch linkage. We'll see you then. All right, guys, so welcome back. It is now October 30th and we are back working on the truck. So I've got a few new parts here today that we're going to be installing that will get us very much closer to starting and running this thing. Let me show you guys what I have. All right, so guys, in here I've got all the pieces that I need to rebuild my clutch linkage, which is down there, that little bar right there that you see. So what my goal is to get these new clutch linkage parts installed into the truck. I've got the truck jacked up, got a jack stand underneath it. I've got blocks behind it, and it is in gear, so it doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to go ahead and install these parts. I'm going to cut the camera off so I can focus on it and try not to hurt myself and get these parts installed, and then we will come right back. All right, guys, so I have the clutch linkage back installed. Let me zoom in here a little bit. As you guys can see, the new ends are on. I did not replace this end because it was hard to get off of there. So we have the clutch linkage completely installed, and now we can move on to replacing our next item. All right, guys, so the next thing that we're installing is a new choke cable. So that is what is right here. I had already replaced it, got one from LMC Truck, but it isn't long enough. And the reason why is on this setup here, the carburetor is sideways. So the front of the carb is right here. So that means our choke, which is right here, this is all of our choke linkage, excuse me. I need my choke to be able to wrap around here to come to right here, sit in this bracket, and be able to pull this right here. So I've got a Jegs, from Jegs, choke cable. There is part number right there. I'll also link it in the description box below. It is a 1 inch and it's about 6 feet long, so I get to cut it any length I want or need. So let's go ahead and start the installation. Okay, so after a little bit of fidgeting with it, I finally got the choke cable installed. Everything is good. And no, wrapped around this side, it does not affect our throttle linkage at all, but that is the clutch is open. I'll go ahead and go in here and pull it closed. Got the little button on there. Go ahead and pull it closed like so. And our choke is closed now. Everything works properly. Everything works good. So now our next step is I've got to go in and order more parts. I've got to order some fittings for the new fuel pump to reattach our hose line from our tank. That's our next thing to do. And then after that's done, I've got to fabricate a bracket for our throttle linkage. Now, so the throttle linkage is pulled that way, as you can see that motion there, and our throttle linkage on here is pulled this way. So I've just got to fabricate a bracket to go probably right here, hold our new cable, which is in the truck, in place to where it'll pull it this way and pull it that way. So that's all we have to do, is hook up the fuel pump and put our new throttle linkage together. And then once that is done, we can tune the carb and take it to the exhaust shop. So we'll see you guys when I get those parts in. All right, guys, so it is a little bit late in the day, but I finally got my nozzle in for, this is an 1/8 inch nozzle end, or a fuel line inlet tube, or whatever you want to call it. And this is going to go on the fuel pump and will allow me to hook my fuel line from the tank back up to the fuel pump. So I'm going to go ahead and sling this on here. I've also got a buddy of mine coming over here shortly. He'll be here just any minute. and we're going to try and craft fabricate the bracket to hold on our throttle linkage. This is the throttle linkage and cable and everything that came with the intake manifold. So we're going to try and craft that today, and hopefully we can get it done. And if we do, you'll see me back here in a minute. I'm not sure how it's going to go. Hopefully we can get it done like I said. And then the next thing we can do is throw the air cleaner on there and tune this thing, and then take it to the exhaust shop. So we'll see you guys here in just a moment. All right, guys, so I've got my fuel pump all hooked back up and together, and we are about to start making a bracket for the throttle linkage. So let me show you. I think I showed you in a previous clip, but I'll show you again. The original throttle linkage, you know, you push it, when you push the gas pedal down, it pushes back like this. Now this one pulls like this. So we're gonna have to make a bracket for this cable here to where it'll pull this way and this way. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on that now, and I'll come back when we have some progress made.
All right, guys, so in this clip, you see me and my buddy Matt. We're trying to fabricate a bracket for the throttle cable linkage, and I do not recommend what we're doing at all. Make sure you have the proper tools and the proper safety equipment to do this, because you don't want metal shavings flying up in your face and your eyes, because that would be bad. But we're doing it the stupid redneck way and using his truck as a table. And you'll see here in just a minute, it flies out of his hand, and that could have been bad for the both of us. And yep, right there. So what we ended up deciding was that the carburetor can't sit like it is, so we're going to have to buy a 90-degree plate that'll turn it 90 degrees so we can face it the right way. So I'm waiting for that part to come in now, and you'll see that in part 4, where we hopefully finally get this truck up and running.
All right, guys, so we're going to call it a night here. So what we did in those previous clips, we took the carburetor off, put it back on a couple times, tried to turn it, but the adapter plate that's on the intake manifold won't allow us to turn it 90 degrees the way that we need to. So I'm going to have to order some parts from Summit Racing. Huge shout out to Rob at Summit Racing for helping us out and talking us through that, and giving me the info on what we needed for this. So I'm gonna have to order those parts. They'll come in probably later this week. And but for now, I'm gonna cut the video here, and we'll see you guys in part 4 when we finally get on the carburetor and tune it and get it to the exhaust shop, so we can finish this project for now, because I do have some other things I do want to do to this truck in the future. So guys, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's video, leave me a like, leave me a comment down below, and we'll see you guys in part 4. Peace.